So functionally, this press is exactly the way it was before I started this stuff. And I've got the wheels locked, and you can see there is no, what's the right, press wobble, it escapes me right at the moment. Flex, that's the word I was looking for. No horizontal flex. The only movement you're seeing right now is because I'm on a 1-inch rubber pad, and if this was on the ground you wouldn't see this moving. If I was on the concrete you wouldn't see it moving at all. But yeah, that rocks. That is sweetness. I might have to repaint the stand a neutral color because it's going to take everything now. I can put any press I own on this stand now and move that around anywhere or take it anywhere. It's a little heavy, but it is mobile. It can be moved. I'd move it in a truck, but you know, if somebody wanted to borrow a press and they had nothing at home, this would be a great way to get them into it. But I'm going to swap another press on here just as a looky-loo, and then I'm going to call it a night. All right, I'm going to leave it like this because this happens to be a favorite mount. I would never load like this because now it's actually too high. It's about 5 feet and some change maybe. But the point is, I can now put any press on here. So we now have a one-of-a-kind in the world. I've never seen a mobile stand like this that integrates an inline fab mount that allows any type of device, press, accessory, whatever, to be mounted. So the reloading journey takes another twist and another turn, and that's pretty cool to take a bunch of old design, dedicated design, repurpose it, modernize, and adapt to a very modular system that Inline Fabrication puts out, and I've been using for years. Love the flush mount system, love the top plates, and now it's just reinvigorated this stand to not being relegated in a corner on a press that may not get used as much, to something now I can put the Dillon on here, I can put any press on here, anything I have a plate for. So that's cool. One of a kind, only in the world, mobile stand. That's it for tonight. Here's another first I thought I'd throw at the end of the video. This is the fully decked out XL 750. You can see one of the presses hanging off on the storage dock on the side there, mounted to a mobile stand. I have the front wheels locked, but otherwise it's just sitting there. And I'll try to maneuver myself around the camera to operate the press. So as usual, the camera / tripod is in the way, so I don't know that I would use the 750 mounted like this, and I'll show you why and the benefit of moving to this system. So the way the 750 is configured and was originally built was for my bench. My bench from floor to top plate is 36 inches, and from floor to top plate on that is, we're right at 41 and some change, almost 42 inches, so it's already 6 inches higher. And then when you add this almost 5-inch, 4 3/4-inch riser mount that the top plate is added to for Inline Fabrication, things get a little creative. The challenge I would have is using this top plate and this riser I can mount the dual bin storage to, whereas on the Hornady I have the dual bin actually mounted to the back of the press. So if I wanted to make that more universal, I may take that off the Hornady and just leave it on here with this riser, or I haven't figured that out yet. But what I thought is I'd show the press, take it off this riser, and show the press on here without that riser. And the beauty now is I have space by being able to put the press onto the flush mount and then tinker with the mobile stand at the same time. So back in a minute. So here's what the mobile stand looks like with just the riser and the top plate for the 750 with its light, magnetic light, and the dual bin output tray, or excuse me, the dual bin tray. The 750 mounted to the bench without the riser. It's just too low for me. I have to bend down. It would be great seated, so that would work, but for me that's just too low. So when I have the press here, I like to have this riser, but I'm going to take the riser off here and put this system on here and see what that looks like. So shame on me, I wasn't looking at the screen and I didn't realize the lighting conditions, so hopefully this is a little nicer. The downside is without that riser, or the fact that I have the dual output bin mounted on the riser, I've got nothing here, so I could take this dual bin riser, or excuse me, dual bin mount off the riser and put it on the back of this flush mount plate and give me the same effect, because this is actually so it comes down to, if I'm going to use this press standing, this is the height, this is perfect height for me to use the press. Love it. If I was going to mount it on the bench, the difference between where the bench is, the difference between that height here and the height here is probably that 5 inches or so that the riser gives me. So when the 750 is mounted here with the riser, it feels the exact same height as it does right here with the press mounted on the mobile stand. So this came out like a dream. Couldn't have envisioned anything better. Perfect fit, form, and functionality. So extremely happy camper. Good stuff. Happy reloading. After watching the last segment, I realized I had to do a final, and this is what I would call the final. And by that I mean how I would like to configure the 750 if it was on the mobile stand, which it is right now. Wheels locked, relatively flat surface. There's still a slope to the garage floor, but that's what it's looking like. And if you'll notice, I did take the dual bin mount off the riser and I placed it on the side. I also put the mount on the base because there's plenty of room. The mount on the base. I put the light on the base. I mounted the light on the base because there was plenty of room there. And in fact, here I'll get a close-up. All right, little tight on space, but the light is here on the base. I can wiggle the press back and forth easier than I can move that magnet off there. But with the dual bin mount, I've got bullets and brass should I need it, which I shouldn't because of the double alpha bullet feeder, as well as the SoCal S&W, excuse me, double alpha brass feeder, as well as the SoCal S&W bullet feeder. So between the two, in fact, I'll put the bullet feeder, I don't know why I keep calling it a bullet feeder, I'll put the brass feeder on it, and then once again step back with the camera. Alright, that would be, now it's really in all its glory with the brass and the bullet feeder, the dual bin tray mount, the light, the everything on the press. And speaking of the press, the bottom of the press there, that base right now is 1-inch thick steel, and this was actually part of the original base that I had, and you can see how thick the original base was, 1/4 inch, and it wasn't thick enough. So I ended up cutting up the first base and made a giant magnet out of the Hornady emblem, and I'll probably do the same thing with Dillon so that I can attach it to the bottom, which I'll do right now, but I won't do it live because I'll hit the camera and the tripod. So hang on a second. There we go. That's the beauty of having so much steel in one place. Magnets work great and stick to everything. So this rocks. I'm beyond satisfied. And let's see if I can reach. So you've got, again, there's the garage slope, but no flex on the press. The bench will have a little bit of movement simply because the evenness of the floor. But I've got less flex and movement on the mobile stand than I do on my flush mount. So this, yeah, I think that will be the next project, a metallic, because I've got leftover metal from that base. Never throw scraps away. But that's rocking. Final for now.